Now
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
It is 8:07 on News Talk 105.9 WMAL. We are making sense of the news. Happy Wednesday to everybody. I'm Andrew Langer, sitting with Julie Gunlock today in for Larry O'Connor. We got Juan Pablo Segura joining us in a couple of minutes. Congressman Andrew Clyde from Georgia, and I don't want to waste any time. We've got Connor Boyack coming on and joining us right now. He is the creator of the Tuttle Twins. He's president of the Libertas Institute and author of the book America's History, a Tuttle Twins series of stories. He's also the person who I saw breaking this story about this 12-year-old boy, Jaden. Of course, now that the story is coming out and we're all talking about it, the left is pushing back. Connor, let's get into this. You got hip to this story early on, right? Because this kid is a Tuttle Twins kid. He was reading your stuff. His parents were reading your stuff to them. This story, it's not, well, talk a little bit about your impression of the story, your immediate reactions.
Well, this kid is extremely based. He is an instant legend. He gets kicked out of class for having his Gadsden flag patch that says, "Don't tread on me." The school administration claims that, it's connected to slavery, therefore it's a disruption to the class environment. They're driving home from school. His mom's driving him home, and he says, "Mom, in the Tuttle Twins book, when they had a legal problem, they got the news to come help them. Can we get the news?" She's like, okay. So she drives to the local TV station, the NBC affiliate. Kid literally walks up to the front door and presses the doorbell, the little security doorbell, asking if a reporter will come out and talk to him. No one would. So that's when they reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, he's a big fan. Can you help?" I'm like, I'm definitely sharing this story. Absolutely.
Hey, but they've been after this kid before, and this is where the left is going after him. He dared to have pro-gun patches on his backpack. They made him remove those.
That's right.
They drew the line, and I understand why they're drawing the line, but talk a little bit about that, sort of dispel the myths here. Obviously a pro-Second Amendment family, but Connor, tell us a little more about that.
For sure. He did have a number of other patches that included firearms. For example, he had one from the Firearms Policy Coalition, and the school district policy does say, no apparel, no clothing, no patches or anything featuring drugs, alcohol, tobacco, firearms. And so on that basis, Jaden conceded, even though he thought it was stupid, and he's a big Second Amendment kid. He's like, fine, I'll take those off, and he did. He kept the Gadsden flag one, and if you watch the video, which is all over Twitter and or X, I guess we're calling it now. If you watch the video,
we're calling it Twitter.
We're still calling it Twitter.
Yes, we are.
If you watch the video, you can see that the entire conversation with the school administrator is about the Gadsden flag patch. So now that tens of millions of people across the country have seen this story and brought pressure on the school, they're trying to claim, we just have concerns about these, firearms things. Well, that's BS. None of the video has anything to do with that. They were targeting this Gadsden flag patch, and so they're really just trying to cover their butts right now.
Connor, I just want to take a moment to say my kids, my three boys, we are a Tuttle Twin family. I thank you so much for, frankly, doing some of the work that I would have to do. I just hand them one of your books, and the job is done. So thank you. I am thrilled.
Mission accomplished.
I am thrilled. Also, my friend Jane has a Tuttle Twin book club. I just have to put a plug in that. You are very popular in my circle of friends. But I will say, one thing that you pointed out is that this kid is so, you can tell he knows what's going on. He knows the truth. He knows this school person is incorrect in saying this is tied to racism. So often we talk about, arming parents and making sure parents have the facts so they can fight back. But what you're doing is helping to arm kids, helping to educate kids, which is a failure of our public schools, and not just public schools. There's an awful lot of private schools that are failing in this as well. Tell us just a little bit about why you started the Tuttle Twin. I really want people to understand how important the Tuttle Twins is, especially these days.
So we started in 2014 with the first book. No one knew who I was or who we are or who the Tuttle Twins is or anything. And it was just a side project. It was a fun little endeavor to say, hey, let's write some books that teach kids these ideas. And we were plodding along for several years. And if you look at 2014 all the way through 2019, so that's 6 years inclusive, we sold about 750,000 books, which for a little self-published side hustle, I thought was awesome. 2020 hit, we sold 1.3 million books that year alone, because all of a sudden everyone's like, number one, I'm a homeschooler now, so what do I do, right?
Yeah.
My kids are home from school. But number two, what the heck has happened to my country, and what have I taken for granted? So let me talk to my kids, and then word of mouth quickly spread, for the Tuttle Twins. I have to give a shout out to CNN, though. They get part of the credit for the Tuttle Twins' growth. The year after that, 2021, they published an article claiming that we were responsible for creating a right-wing children's education complex. And so I took a screenshot of this article. I plastered social media. I sent it out to our million-plus email list. I said, hey, guys, we're going to have some fun with this. For the weekend, it was like a 3-day weekend or whatever. I said, 50% off, coupon code CNN. Come get your books.
Oh, man.
And as a direct result of CNN, we sold over 100,000 books that weekend. So if anyone knows anyone at MSNBC, send them my way.
So you're also a marketing whiz. Brilliant.
We're talking with Connor Boyack. He is the president of the Libertas Institute. Connor, so what's next for Jaden? What's going on with him? What are they looking? Do they want people to get more involved? What's going on there?
So he did go back so he got kicked out of class 2 days ago. And yesterday in the morning, I've been texting nonstop with the mom. And so in the morning, I'm like, hey, I just shared the video with her permission, of course. And so I'll keep you updated on that. But what's Jaden going to do for school? She said, he's going to school. And he said he wants to do a sit-in if they try and do anything about it.
There you go.
And no one said anything to him, because even by early morning, there were already millions of views behind this thing. The school's getting a bunch of emails, the district. So no one said a peep to Jaden. Now, what's sad is he ate lunch alone yesterday, and he was just playing chess by himself. Yeah, and so I posted on Twitter last night. I'm like, hey, let's get some messages of love. And so I just sent that to him this morning. There's like 1,300 people, including Dean Cain, who's Superman, and all these other people chiming in to say, Jaden, you're awesome. You're an inspiration. What's next for him? Well, number one, today he's taking the day off. There's a lot of media interest, and so Mom and Jaden are a bit overwhelmed, and they're just going to take the day to be able to process through all of that. He actually wants to fight the firearm thing. He wants his firearm patches back on. So Mom and Jaden, they are not content with this concession. Last night, the school board went into an emergency session.
Oh, boy. I bet they did.
Yeah, and they what's funny about this, too, is last night the school had a back-to-school night planned, their annual back-to-school night. 3 hours before the event, they email all the parents and they said, due to unforeseen circumstances, we are postponing back to school night. And so they didn't do that last night, but the school board did have an emergency session. They did say, no, the Gadsden flag is okay. And so that's a small victory, but I need, accountability for that administrator. We need to see some kind of reprimand or discipline or fire someone.
Or an apology.
Ridiculous. Or an apology at least, right? And number two, Jaden really wants his firearm patches, which is contrary explicitly to school policy, but that's a fight that he wants to have.
Good.
And I say, go for it, kid. You're already standing up. Why not continue?
Well, Connor Boyack, how do folks find out more about the good work that you are doing as an author and at the Libertas Institute?
So, yeah, TuttleTwins.com is where you can find books. We're actually doing a back-to-school sale this weekend, so it's good timing. If you want to get the history books or the children's books, TuttleTwins.com is where to go. If you're curious about me or Libertas, we're easily Googleable online, libertas.org, ConnorBoyack.com. But just encourage everyone to check out Tuttle Twins. The fact that Jaden has been reading this stuff for years and now he's actualizing the ideas that he has been learning. That obviously for an author, that is like my dream. He is the encapsulation of what we've been trying to do. And so we're trying to make 1 million more Jadens to fight for the future of this country.
Thank you,
Go
Connor.
and check it out.
TuttleTwins.com.